Hi everyone, welcome back, and in today's video we're going over everything that you need for a track day. So you've clicked on this video because probably you've got a track day coming up or you just want to watch our content. Either of those is great. We've got a track day coming up in just around the corner over the weekend, so we need to get some stuff ready for track day prep, but also making sure that we've got the right stuff so we can actually go on track. First thing you want to be able to do, or want to make sure you've got, is yourself. So we'll go over everything that you're going to need as a driver. So we're going to start off with what you're wearing. So on track days you're going to need something that covers your whole arms, so whether that's a nice Splodgemotors hoodie or a t-shirt depending on what the weather's like. We're in October, we've got sun now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be raining or cold on Monday. You're also going to need some trousers that go right the way through, some full length trousers. Again, you don't have to wear a race suit. Some people do on track day, some people don't. It really depends on what you've got. If you've got one, you might as well wear it. There's a lot of people who wear karting suits. Then moving on to what I'd probably class as the most important thing is shoes. You're going to be, if you're driving a manual, you're going to be heel toeing, you need to be able to feel the pedals and what they're doing. So you definitely want something flat, just like Crocs. But if you're using Crocs, make sure they're in sports mode, like that. In all seriousness though, just a good pair of trainers, or you can get some racing, some karting boots or something like that that's just going to be able to let you feel the pedals so you know what's going on. And then important, as much as your feet are important, you need to make sure you protect your head. So you've got two different types of helmets here. You've got full face helmet, which obviously covers the full face, and then you've got an open face helmet. The difference is, depending on what car you've got, if you've got a soft top or something where you can have the roof down, you need to make sure you've got a full face. It's part of the regulations here in the UK. And if you're in a coupe or something that's got a full solid roof, or a hatchback or something something that's not a soft top, you can either choose to wear a open face or a full face, and depending on what you prefer, whether you want it right the way around your face or you want it nice and open. Obviously they both have their advantages and disadvantages. The advantage of the open face is you get a bit more airflow, you're not sort of claustrophobically closed in, but it means if you've got one of them, you can't go in a soft top. So the big question it kind of goes on to is gloves. Some people wear gloves, some people don't. It's really up to yourself. If you're getting gloves, obviously get ones that are sort of fabric on the inside so you can still feel your steering wheel, not sort of leathery, and you sort of forget what they feel like. And that's really all the attire you need. You can go get a full hands device, again, depends on how deep you want to go into it, but if you're like us, first couple of track days, you're not spending out big money on suits and boots and all that sort of stuff, you're just kind of setting up to the sort of basics that you need, and this is kind of what this video is for.
But yeah, so next thing we need to go on to be the actual things to bring equipment-wise to the track. Obviously, you don't need everything we're going to go through here, but I'm going to go through the essentials and then some of the extras, more luxury-wise, I guess, to bring with you. Obviously, a useful thing to have is a bag, because you can pack everything up beforehand. Makes it a lot harder to forget stuff. I'm very good at doing that. So, definitely one of the more essential things to have. The most important things, though, to have are obviously a torque wrench, because you're going to be wanting to check your torque settings on all your wheel nuts quite regularly throughout the day. Another good thing to have would be a tyre pressure gauge, something so you can check it, because your pressures will go up as the heat rises throughout the day. And then you also want a pump, because you're going to be letting those pressures down as they rise, so at the end of the day you're going to put them back up before you drive home. Obviously you don't really want to be driving with very low pressures. Another essential thing would be fire extinguisher. Obviously that's just basic safety. You can obviously get them mounted in your car, just keep one somewhere on hand. If you're not going full track day for your first one, obviously you might not be going for a full mount in the car, but as long as you've got one somewhere, it's always a safe thing to have. Another thing you can bring is obviously a full toolkit. You don't need to bring everything, just maybe the essentials, depends on how much you work on your car yourself. Worst case, if you don't, there's probably going to be someone there with stuff you could always use to help. Everyone's always very friendly at things like this. We're all in the same hobby, we all like to help each other out, and we all like to talk cars, so obviously don't be afraid if you don't have something, you forget something, to ask about for help. There's always people more than happy to help. Another good thing, especially at the moment in the UK, would be spare fuel. You're going to be gunning it around track. Your fuel efficiency isn't going to be very good, let's be honest. And you don't know what the availability is at the track or where the nearest one is, especially depending on where you're going to. Obviously at the moment in the UK, fuel shortages have been quite a big thing, so it's definitely a good thing to have, just so you can be a bit more sure that you're going to get to the next petrol station after you leave there, getting a bit carried away and using all your fuel up. Obviously if you're going to be doing a lot of stuff on the wheels and that yourself, a good trolley jack is good, but obviously most cars have a jack in them if you're not too worried about using it and it's only going to be an emergency. Another good thing, just make sure you check beforehand. Obviously at the moment in this post-COVID world, a lot of things like the safety briefing and all that is being done online, so make sure you're online for all of your information for when you get there, but also you need to do your briefings a lot of the time now beforehand, so make sure you don't miss any of them, because we haven't been to one since any of this, but there's very well they might just not let you in if you haven't done it, so it's always good to do. It's show your safety information, what you need to do at the track. It'd be silly not to do it really, but it's just a few minutes it's going to take, so why not? If you're going onto the track, it's safety first. Another good thing before you get onto the track, obviously depending on the value of your car, how much you care about your car, Trackday insurance. Obviously if you have quite a bit more of a newer, more valuable car like I do, it's definitely something you're going to want to get, because anything could happen. Obviously your normal insurance will not cover you on a track day. It's not worth taking that risk. If you have something you're worried about, definitely look into it, sort it out. It's better to be safe than sorry. Obviously if you're going around with some cheap shit box you bought for £500 on the internet, maybe you probably don't care about that, because the insurance will probably be no point, because you're going for as cheap as possible, which, have fun with it, don't need to worry about it. We did that in the coupe, we didn't worry about it, it's not an expensive car. So it's all down to you really on that one. It depends on sort of where your worries are. If it's something you're worried about, do it. It's peace of mind, you shouldn't have to worry. But yeah, that's all down to personal opinion really.
So maybe one of the most important bits is making sure that your car is okay. What you want to make sure are the simple things like it's been well serviced, that your fluids are good, your oil's good, your brakes, you don't need to upgrade them or anything, you just need to make sure that there's plenty of life left in them and they'll get you around the track. Obviously if you want to upgrade them, then there's definitely benefits of, you know, upgrading your brakes and going for sort of racing brake fluid and basically just the good maintenance stuff of upgrading your car. But things like brakes obviously allow you to brake later, brake harder, more life, gives you more track time and stuff. However, it's not that important. It's not the most important bit. It's just making sure that you've got life to go around the track. And if you need to drive 3, 4, 5 hours to get back from the track day, either bring a spare so you can change it there and then, or make sure that you know you're going to have enough life left in it, because you don't want to start driving home on dead brakes. Because the other really important thing to make sure you've got are decent tyres and life left in your tyres, because you're going to be driving around the track, you're going to be pushing the limits of them. You're going to start cutting through your life on your tyres. So whether you bring a spare pair of tyres to drive home on, or a spare pair of tyres to actually drive around, a spare pair of wheels, sorry, to drive around on the tracks if you've got semi-slicks or something. But yeah, just making sure you've got good maintenance of the car. Make sure you haven't got things that are going to randomly fall off, because what you don't want to do is ruin the track day for someone else. If you ruin it for yourself through your own inconvenience of, you know, your car overheats because you've never changed the water fluid in it, or you know, you've not done good servicing, then kind of that's on you. But what you don't want to do is ruin, something goes wrong on your car that then ruins the track day for everyone else, where you have a massive oil spillage, or your tyres fail because you've actually got no life of them and you plunge into a barrier and they have to close the track day or something. That's the bit you really want to make sure you're not doing, is upsetting it for other people. You know, if it happens to you, it's just a bit, it's not great. But if you start ruining other people's days, and you know that's their time and effort that you're starting to hinge on. Obviously, these things do happen. It's a track day. It's a motorsport. It's risky. There are definitely things that do go wrong spontaneously, but you need to minimise that risk on other people by doing these careful and good little things. They're not difficult to do. It's not hard to do. It's just good to do, and it's good maintenance for your cars. Keeps them running, keeps them going. So little checks like that. The other bit you might want to do is you might want to film it. So obviously everyone wants to go, oh, I'm doing great on my track day and stuff. So when you're mounting your car or mounting your GoPros, make sure they're mounted securely. A lot of places don't like the suction cup, so if you're using a suction cup, you're going to need to secure it. That's normally why you take zip ties. You just need to make sure that what you're securing is safe, but also will give you the good angles that you want. And then make sure you've got your charging stuff, and whether you're running a battery pack to your GoPro so it's constantly charging is another thing you can do as an option. So we're coming to the end of the video, and you've seen an overview of the stuff that sort of you kind of want to take. You don't have to take all of it. Obviously the stuff that we say are really important, like your helmets and your actual car and things like that. Making sure your service is up is really important, but the extra bits you don't have to take. The most important thing is getting some seat time. That's the only way you're going to improve yourself as a driver. Whether you actually want to start sort of going into competitions and championships and going really good, or you just want to have a nice fun time out, getting out in the car on a track, giving it a bit of push and enjoying the car for what it actually is. And if you've modified your car, you're able to sort of adjust it as you go and sort of know what you're going to do next and want to improve. And that's really the best part of owning modified cars and having fun with them. Getting out, having some seat time, with some friends and some mates, and just chilling. So yeah, I hope that you enjoy your track day. I know we will. If you want to stay up to date with actually what happens on the track day, then you can hit the little subscribe button, or if it's already out, then go watch the videos. But obviously, if you want to subscribe and like, and see if you found it helpful. If you've got any things that you would suggest taking as well that we might have missed off, put it in the comment section below. We might do an update and say, actually, Joe Blogs had a great idea, make sure you take this, this and this. So yeah, I'd like to see what other people sort of suggest taking to track days. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, rate and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.